Israel's cabinet approved a plan to seize Gaza City. That's where we're starting the 7 from the Washington Post. I'm Hannah Jewell. It's Friday, August 8th. Let's get you caught up with today's 7 stories. Early this morning, the office of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced that Israel would expand the war in Gaza. Netanyahu's security cabinet approved his plan to conquer Gaza City. That city in the north was once the most populous in the enclave before nearly 2 years of war and displacement. The move paves the way for a potential full-scale occupation of the entire territory. That's long been a demand of Netanyahu's far-right ministers. They want to establish Israeli settlements in Gaza. But some senior officials in the Israeli military are opposed to the plan, as are Palestinians and the United Nations. They say it will only lead to more death and suffering. The families of Israeli hostages held in Gaza also oppose the war's expansion. As the cabinet convened overnight, street protests took place in Jerusalem and across Israel. Post reporter Lior Soroka was on the scene. Those protesters were chanting in Hebrew about the hostages. They were saying, "Why are they still in Gaza? Bring them home." Americans may soon face higher prices because of President Donald Trump's new tariffs. That's number 2. Trump's latest round of import duties took effect yesterday. They lifted the average U.S. tariff rate to its highest level since the Great Depression. And whether you like it or not, that's going to impact you. Manufacturers and retailers are expected to raise their prices soon. Some already have. It could cost households an average of $2,400 per year. That's according to estimates from the Budget Lab at Yale University. Americans are likely to face large markups on clothing, including a 39% increase in prices for leather shoes and bags. Food prices, meanwhile, could rise more than 3%, and fresh produce could become 7% more expensive. You might have already seen some price increases. Americans are paying more for appliances, home furnishings, and toys than they were a few months ago. And data shows that customers are already buying less. Number 3. Republicans are now pushing to redraw election maps in multiple states. Earlier this week, I told you about the drama in Texas over redistricting. Many Democratic lawmakers left the state in an effort to delay a Republican plan to redraw election maps. Texas Republicans are trying to gain more seats in the U.S. House of Representatives, and they're planning to ramp up the pressure on their Democratic colleagues today. Attorney General Ken Paxton set a deadline for 5 p.m. today for Democrats to return to the state. He said he'll go to court to try to remove them from office if they don't. But Republican ambitions aren't limited to Texas. Some party members are also discussing ways to create new red seats in Missouri, Indiana, and Ohio. And they want to carve out as many as 5 seats in Florida. The White House is driving the push to redraw maps before the midterm elections next year. But some elected Republicans are skeptical of the push. They told the Post that they're concerned about Democratic retaliation in blue states like California, Illinois, and New York, and they're hesitant to shake up long-standing district lines. Hurricane season is picking up steam. That's number 4. August, September, and October make up the peak of Atlantic hurricane season. There hasn't been a hurricane so far, but tropical storms have already led to deadly flooding, including in Texas last month. Now, forecasters are concerned about a marine heat wave in the western Atlantic and Gulf of Mexico. These heat waves can increase the potential intensity of storms and how much moisture they can carry. This heat wave could fuel the season's first hurricane. Meanwhile, on the other side of the country, wildfires are growing explosively in 9 western states, including Colorado, California, and Arizona. In all, 38 large fires were burning as of Wednesday, fueled by hot and windy conditions. Number 5. Instagram has a new feature that you may want to disable immediately. It's called Instagram Map. It was rolled out in the US this week. You might have seen it when you opened the app. It works through 2 methods. First, it includes locations you have actively tagged in recent Instagram stories or posts. Second, and more ominously, the app nudges you to opt in to a new form of passive location sharing. That shows anyone who follows you who you also follow where you were when you last opened the app, even if you were just having a lazy scroll in the dentist's waiting room. I'm not here to tell you how to live your life, but our tech columnist Jeffrey Fowler is. He says there are many, many good reasons for you to disable this feature. He can walk you through how to turn it off. Find a link to his article in our newsletter today. As always, find that in our show notes. Number 6. Next-generation weight loss pills could hit the market in the coming months. Yesterday, pharmaceutical giant Eli Lilly said it will seek regulatory approval for its experimental weight loss pill by the end of the year. It announced results from its latest clinical trial of the pills. They were positive, but they did not appear to be as potent as injectable GLP-1 medications like Ozempic and Mounjaro. That raises a key question. Will patients embrace a more convenient alternative to injecting themselves, even if it means losing less weight? As the race accelerates to develop a pill version of the blockbuster weight loss drugs, it's becoming increasingly clear that oral versions just might not be as effective. And at number 7. Major League Baseball is calling up its first female umpire this weekend. For the first time in nearly 150 years of MLB history, a female umpire will work a regular season game. Jen Powell is a 48-year-old former college softball player from New Jersey. She's been an umpire in the minor leagues for nearly a decade. But tomorrow, she'll call outs on the bases for 2 games of a doubleheader between the Marlins and the Braves in Atlanta. On Sunday, she'll stand behind home plate and call balls and strikes. Last year, Powell spoke to the press after umpiring a Major League spring training game. A CBS reporter asked about her unique story.
I'm from CBS.
What do you want people to know about your journey and anyone else coming forward after this?
Sure, yeah. I mean, this is a viable career. Becoming a professional umpire for men and women, girls and boys, is a true viable career.
That audio comes from the Palm Beach Post. Before we give MLB too much credit, though, it's worth pointing out that the league only narrowly avoided having robots call balls and strikes before a woman. Nevertheless, here's to you, Jen Powell. That's the show for this week. Before we go, a quick correction from our Wednesday show. The Titan submersible disaster happened in 2023, not 2021, as I mistakenly said. Apologies for the error, and thanks to listeners for pointing it out. The associate producer of The Seven is Taylor White. Special thanks this week to producer Rennie Svirnovsky. The staff writers are me and Jamie Ross. John Taylor is our editor. Additional editing by Christina Quinn. Thanks to Natalia Lobanova for some pronunciation help. Copy editing is by Melissa No, Ann Kenderdine, and Thomas Haliba. Mixing and sound design is by Jim Briggs and Justin Garish. Our theme music is by Edith Mudge. Renita Jablonski is our director of audio. I'm Hannah Jewell. Thanks for listening and have a great weekend. I'll meet you back here on Monday.